Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, I'm going to be trying to replicate this strange-looking historical plane that I can't tell if it was a good or a bad design based off of the history. So I was made aware of this plane in my Discord by Razorchip, said that they found a cool plane at a plane museum. They attached this picture with their message from the museum itself, and apparently that plaque at the bottom says, "The Lee-Richards Monoplane model named after Tilghman Richards, who had the aerodynamic know-how, and Cyric Lee." I see why they call it Lee-Richards now. But apparently Cyric Lee had the financial resources to produce this plane. This unique aircraft was tried as a glider and then as a powered glider and enjoyed moderate success. Pretty optimistic so far. So according to the museum here, the glider was said to be very stable and controllable and was able to be banked into turns. So based off of that description, you'd think, hey, seems like a pretty good plane design. It was stable, it was controllable, what else do you need from a plane? Well, I tried to find some more information on this thing and wasn't able to find very much, but here's a page I did find. On NevingtonWarMuseum.com. I don't know if this is the same museum that Razorchip went to or not, but this is probably one of the better resources I found because not only does it have pictures of the plane, it actually has pictures of 3 separate versions of this plane. So you can see this version right here, which looks like just basically mostly a wireframe from the pictures. Then we have version 2, and the distinctive difference with this version, you can see more distinctly here. It's got 2 different sets of horizontal stabilizers. And then you have version 3 right here, which looks a little bit more futuristic and streamlined with how the tail is kind of like built into the annular wing and it has this curvy kind of shape to it. So as far as my remodel goes, I'm gonna base it off of this design here. It also gives me this nice 3-axis blueprint to look at for building purposes. But before we get to the replica, let's compare this account of this plane to the one that we just read. So model tests of a new design at the National Physics Laboratory gave promising results, suggesting that an annular monoplane would be aerodynamically stable and have benign stalling characteristics. Starting off optimistic, maybe this is a good design after all. So the first full-size flight was in 1913 by Gordon, England. It was found to be stable in the air, but it was tail-heavy and crashed when the engine failed. Fortunately, England survived. Another example was built with modified tail surfaces, and we saw that with these pictures down here. It's got that extra layer of tail fins there. It too was stable and pleasant to fly, and then one of them subsequently crashed it, but survived. Are you noticing a bit of a pattern emerging right now? So the third and last monoplane to fly was further modified, and also it was pleasant to fly. But then Lee himself tried to fly it, but succeeded only in crashing it into a lake before swimming to the shore. So after hearing all this information, do you understand a little bit of why I'm not sure if this is even a good design? All of the reports of every single design is like, oh, it was a pleasure to fly, it was super easy to fly, it was controllable, but somehow they all ended up in crashes, which then required further modification. So if it was really that good of a plane, why did every single one of these result in a crash? But I gotta give credit where credit's due. Every single crash does seem to be survived, and all of them seem to have a pleasant time crashing the plane into the ground, according to this report here. But let's get to the build portion. The circular wing is definitely gonna be a challenge to try to replicate, and I know it's gonna look nothing like this based off of the parts that I have to build with. But at least right here, we have a good color picture we can use for reference. Let's slap this on the video and get to building. All right, I got the build up on my other monitor. The circular wing is definitely gonna be a challenge. I've thought of a couple of different ways to do it, and I think I'm gonna be doing it a strange way for Trailmakers, but it's probably gonna look the most interesting. So I think first off, let's just start with the cockpit because it's pretty much a wing around a cockpit. The middle of the fuselage seems to have like a central support pillar that has, cables going out to support the wings. We're not gonna need that in Trailmakers, and I couldn't really do something like that in Trailmakers, so we're just gonna ignore that part. And this thing does seem to be propeller powered. I don't know if one of our propellers is gonna be enough to do this, but I could always supplement with some hidden mini thrusters just to give ourselves some extra force as we go forward. It's just really small. I think Trailmakers needs like a medium version of these propellers. The same exact type of function where you just press a button and it spins, but it needs to be a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger so we can make some more proportional aircraft. All right, I think I'm close to done shaping this fuselage here. All right, it looks like in the design up near that front support section, it seems like there was actually room for another seat up there. So I guess let's go ahead and add another seat. All right, yeah, we're gonna make this a 2-seater, even though I don't have anybody around to occupy that second seat right now. All right, I'm gonna do the wheels next. I'm pretty much gonna do everything except the wings. And then we'll get to the wings. The wings is gonna be a difficult part. Oh, so by the looks of it, the back wheels are actually around the second seat, or the front seat. All right, I think that'll work right there. All right, then we get a smaller set of wheels in the front, but you know what, these ones should go back a little bit more. All right, there we go. I mean, this is definitely back heavy right now. And actually, it's gonna be back heavy the whole time. Well, I mean, the engine, we need weight in the front because the engine is supposed to weigh a lot, you know? So here, let's try to make this a little bit more accurate. This might be a little bit too much weight, adding 50 kilograms into the front there. All right, there we go. Oh, no, let's get in this seat. This is supposed to be the driver's seat. All right, let's see how powerful this feels now. This is an annular wing plane with no annular wing. It's just a fuselage. All right, look at that. We're off to a really good start. But yeah, I'm definitely, oh no. Oh no. No, don't. Wait, how do I get back? I want the thing I just built. Okay, good. All right, good. There's a saved version of it in the history. Okay, we're safe. Okay, so now I just gotta put the wings on this thing. So I'm gonna start with the easy ones, the ones that make sense. The tail fins. We're gonna have the vertical stabilizer with yaw, and then we need the horizontal stabilizers. The description said the elevators behind the wing were operated separately for roll control. Were they also being used for pitch as well? Were pitch and roll built into the same elevators? I gotta be honest, even looking at this design here from the top-down view, it seems like these are the only elevators. I don't see any other form of control for pitch. Maybe that's why everyone crashed this plane, because they said it was easy to control, though. All right, I'll try to program this so that I can use the same wing piece for both roll and pitch. It's not something I've done very much at all. I may have done it once or twice before, but I'll try it using the logic. Okay, so using these 4 logic gates here, these ones are gonna control the left one. One of them is gonna be responsible for pitch control. One of them is gonna be responsible for roll control. These 2 logic gates are going to control the right servo. One of them is going to be pitch, and one of them is going to be roll. At least that's my game plan so far. Let's see if it works out in the end. So if I want to pull up with the left side, I want it to rotate in the red direction. So pulling up will be that, and then down will be that. All right, so then if I want to roll left on this side, I also want it to go in the red direction. So rolling left will be red, rolling right will be green. All right, let me see if that works as intended so far. All right, so pull up, go down, roll left, roll right. All right, this is gonna be interesting because they're gonna be slightly conflicting controls if I try to use them at the same time, but let's see what happens. Okay, so now on this side, if I wanna pull up, I want it to go in the green direction. So pull up, pitch down, and then if I want to roll to the right, I also want it to go in the green direction. So right and left like that. All right, so let's see if that feels natural. Pull up, pitch down, roll left, roll right. All right, so now I got both controls. And yeah, even if I'm pressing both, it's gonna make it interesting. This is definitely gonna make it interesting, but the controls are there. All right, and now I've got my yacht installed as well with the tail fin. Okay, now that we've done the easy part, which turned out to be harder than I expected, now let's do the hard part. The annular wing. Not to be confused with the annual wing, which is one you only fly once a year. Okay, so there's a couple of ways I was thinking about doing this. One way was to just kind of like build a circle, just using regular pieces that go around it, and then trying to fit like wing pieces in there for lift. The other way, which I think is gonna look cooler, but I don't know how effective it's gonna be, is I'm just gonna slap wings like this and then attach these hinges in between the wings set to just be turned at a certain amount of a certain degree. So that way these wings will just slowly curve around until it gets to the back where it's supposed to be, which now that I'm looking at this, I think I gotta move this tail back a little bit because I feel like this isn't enough space to have this curve right now. All right, so I'm gonna build it off of the propeller, actually. We're gonna have it go right up to the propeller. All right, so I'm giving myself a little bit more space from the propeller here with this buffer tube. That way I can angle the wing a little bit without it colliding with this part of the vehicle, I hope. All right, let's put them at 15 degrees for now so we can see the angle it's starting to form. The only thing is I don't actually have a wing on the front of this, really, but hopefully this is gonna be enough to create some aerodynamics. So now, if I just duplicate this onto the end a couple times, why did that only work on the right side and not the left? I literally have mirror mode on. Oh, the logic just didn't get copied over. That's fine. Oh boy, well that is an interesting wing design, isn't it? Yeah, I should try something like that at one point, an S-shaped wing. All right, but obviously mirror mode is not working out as well as I was hoping it was going to. There we go, that's better. See, this is not giving me enough room though. If I continue this out, this is not curving enough. Here, what I may be able to do is move these wings forward a little bit and then add maybe like 20 degrees instead of 15. Okay, that's getting somewhere. That's looking okay, but I have a feeling this isn't going to meet up where I need it to. I might need to just make this longer. Maybe I just didn't make this a long enough fuselage. All right, here, let me try. I'm gonna copy this and then attach it to the tail back here. Oh, this is kind of awkward, isn't it? All right, well, okay. So yeah, that's the problem right now. I think it's gonna be better to have, to divide it in half and have the front and the back meet in the middle, rather than having all of the wings attached at the front. It's gonna be too floppy that way, I think. So yeah, I guess let's just lengthen the back of this until it seems to have enough room. I'll add another 4 blocks. How's that feel? All right. Actually, if I get rid of that middle one, we're almost in business. How's this feel? Look at that. That looks almost perfect. Like maybe a single block shorter. All right, so just gotta mirror this over to the other side. Why does the left side not line up like the right side does? I did not move these wings up like I did the other ones. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. You think this is gonna fly? Completely untested right now? Okay, ready? And let's lift off. Look at that. Look at that progress. Wow. Okay, so obviously, as suspected, this does not have nearly enough power, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add some thrusters, some mini thrusters into the body of this thing. We got plenty of room right here. So don't worry, this isn't cheating. This is just a compensation for our lack of bigger, more reasonably sized propellers, okay? So now, well, let me get in the right seat here. Here we go. There we go, we got some power. We got some power. Oh, that's promising that the tail's lifting up, but we are, oh my goodness, we are way too front heavy, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that weight now. All right, let's see if this is any better. Oh my god, am I still really front heavy though? Oh, that's an issue. Apparently I forgot to remove some of the controls from the hinges that I copy and pasted. Okay, there we go. No longer will the roll controls modify my annular wing shape. And can we get up in the air? Come on, come on, come on. Fly, 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 fly. Pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. Look at my tail fin. I am pitched up as much as I can right now. And as soon as I let go of that, I just want to nosedive so bad. It needs more lift in the front. Or less lift in the back. If I move the wheels back, it'll add a little bit more weight. It'll pull a little bit more of that forward weight back some. And to make it more likely for me to be more stable spawning in. I've done my best with the replica portion. Now I need to actually get the functionality down by making modifications to it. So let's move these more centered. Put these ones in the back. That looks pretty good. I actually like how that looks. Yeah, it's still, we have way too much lift in the back is the problem. I could put more weight in the back, actually. Okay, you know what? The other thing is the paint. I need a better paint job. All right, let's go with that. So now we've got more thrust. We've got more weight in the back. Oh man, look how much the thrust made a huge difference, but I am still nosediving like crazy. However, the controls do seem to work, which is great. All right, put 50 kilograms weight in the back here. Let's see if that balances our center of mass with our lift, and hopefully we'll be able to fly nice and level. Not gonna press anything. And wow, It was the opposite. I think this is the opposite effect that we had from the original design. The original design was tail heavy, I think. All right, well, let's add another 50 kilograms back here. This is a lot of weight in the back right now. But look at that. It's a little bit better. Oh, wow, this actually feels really less stable, though. It's like it feels like it's rocking on a teeter-totter right now, and like at any point, it could just get off balance and send us flipping over. But we're flying. And it does feel way more balanced than it did before. Like if I let go of the controls, it seems to have a natural nose up now. So that means I could probably move some of that weight forward. Let's just get this thing balanced and then we can do our ultimate test flight. Which for me, of course, means we have to take off, fly around, and then land without dying. All right, I've done some tweaking and I think I've got it to a nice balanced state. So let's see if we can do a successful flight. I'll take off from the carrier, fly through a hoop of fire, fly around a little bit, and then land back on the carrier, hopefully very gently. Oh, you know, I'm gonna help myself with that. I'm gonna give myself some suspension. There we go. Hopefully that suspension doesn't change my aerodynamics too much, but let's give ourselves a maiden voyage. Let me get in the actual back seat. Here we go. Look at that takeoff. Yeah, this is feeling much more balanced now. This is me just holding the gas, not pressing anything, so feeling really good so far. Oh, I said I was gonna go through a hoop of fire. Look at this control as well. The combined pitch and roll on the single set of elevators is actually working really nice for this plane. Like, the control just feels like I'm just tilting. It feels very subtle. You can just do a lot with subtle inputs. Very controllable, very pleasant to fly. Let's see if I destroy it now. We seem to be having a similar experience to everybody else who flew it. Who flew it. Very controllable. It is very pleasant to fly. It does float very nicely, but that didn't stop anybody else from ending in a crash and destroying the thing. So let's see what happens now if I bring it back for a landing. I don't know what it's like when I release the gas or the engine, the thrust. Oh boy, here we go. It does seem to be tail heavy now when I release the thrust. But we're coming in. And look at that. I can't turn though. I can't, I have no controls when I'm actually on the runway. But that was an overwhelming success. I wasn't sure if this circular wing design that I used with the game mechanics was going to work, considering like the front edge of all the wings are facing in different directions. I was worried they might cancel out a little bit and not provide a lot of lift. But as we can see, this thing is not bad. Oh, it does not like going upside down. I tried to just do a barrel roll, or I guess an aileron roll if you want to get technical. I know the difference, because everyone calls it a barrel roll, okay? But yeah, I was just holding the roll to the left and it just pauses. Look, I'm holding it and it just stops me once I get upside down. Is that crazy or what? That whole time, I was just trying to roll to the left, and that's what it did to me. This is definitely an aerodynamically interesting kind of vehicle, isn't it? Not something that's gonna be a fighter jet anytime soon. But as long as you keep the upside of the plane up, this thing actually handles really nice. I'm actually really surprised at how well it handles. Like, look at this. This is no problem. Oh, you know what? This might be thin enough to try to fit through these slats over here. Let's see if I can do this. It is actually very hard to maintain a level pitch, though. All right. Well, just like the old days. Very pleasant to fly. I crashed it though. But there you have it. I think this is my first annular wing build in this game. So let me know what you guys thought. Did it turn out better or worse than you expected? I gotta admit, it turned out better than I expected. If you guys have any other ideas of stuff you'd like to see on the channel, any historical replicas or any future replicas, if that makes sense at all, leave it in the comment below, or you can also join the Discord and be part of the Scrapyard community. If you enjoyed this recreation, you'll probably enjoy some more that you can find on the end screen right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.